Hi, I am Wade Sherbrooke, a long-term member of the Horned Lizard Conservation Society. It's June here in Tucson, Arizona, where I live, and lizards love the heat. My early interest in reptiles started in New York City as a high school volunteer in the reptile wing of the Staten Island Zoo. Later, I came to graduate school in the Southwest, eventually engulfing myself in the habits of horned lizards, investigating how they stand out among life's wonders. The many paths of that journey have extended well over 40 years. Horned lizards pulled me back into graduate school to delve more deeply into my ever expanding curiosity about them. Today, I'll share some thoughts on one of the paths they led me down with the question, why would any animal want to explosively expel its, from its eyes the fluids of its circulatory life support system originally designed to carry oxygen, carbon dioxide, water, food, waste? Well, scientists over the years have occasionally witnessed this horned lizard blood squirting event, and they made some preliminary guesses. Was it to reduce body temperature by expelling hot blood? Was it for a breeding season display? Was it to help during skin molting? Was it for making physiological adjustments following their hibernation? Was it for elimination of parasites? Or even, was it for repelling predator attacks? Really? With blood? Isn't that just a tasty hint of the meal to come? Well, I'd already studied the reactions of horned lizards to two known predators, roadrunners and ferocious grasshopper mice. No blood squirting defenses were seen by horned lizards with those threats. My good friend Dr. George Mindorf and I thought it might be worth studying coyotes as horned lizard predators, but we didn't have a well-trained cooperative pack of them. After several local interviews, I engaged Dusty, a young female yellow Labrador retriever, to join our efforts in interactive trials with Texas horned lizards. She proved to enjoy the excitement and chase with barking and gentle capture of lizards. She worked with us for several years. In our first trials, we carefully monitored individual interactions between 10 Texas horned lizards and Dusty, immediately terminating each trial if there was a blood squirt. All 10 lizards squirted within about 1 minute. What a contrast that was to the Roadrunner trials I encountered. Further studies led to our understanding that both eyes squirt blood multiple times if necessary. We were also able to measure how much blood was expelled. Focusing on our activities, our friend and neighbor Raymond Mendez was able to capture the first photograph of horned lizard blood squirting. Of the 12 species of horned lizards recognized at that time, only a few were known to occasionally squirt blood, usually at humans, not a natural predator. Now knowing that dogs might frequently induce blood squirting, I started testing different species of horned lizards across the Southwest and into Mexico with dogs. Working with herpetologist Fernando Mendoza Quijano in Puebla and Elizabeth Beltran Sanchez in Guerrero, we tested numerous species not occurring in the United States. Some species squirted blood with dogs, but not all. Also, I was curious about how horned lizard blood might deter a predator's attack. Fortunately, the U.S. Department of Agriculture had a laboratory in Ogden, Utah for the study of predators like coyotes, which they maintained in captivity in large numbers. Here, employing horned lizard blood or plasma, I was able to simulate horned lizard blood squirting defense actions by delivering their blood from a syringe into the eyes, noses, and mouths of coyotes, and then observing their responses. The coyotes exhibited little reaction to blood in their eyes. Their strongest reactions of complete disgust were to blood in their mouth. I've tasted horned blood many times myself, but to me it tastes like my blood, only a little more acrid. To further our studies of the reactions of predators to horned lizard blood squirting, I next captured several young kit foxes, another canid predator. Now we wanted to find where the apparent distasteful compounds were coming from. Were they added from glands lubricating the eyes as the blood left the eye socket, or were they always in the blood circulating throughout the lizard's body? We showed that the chemical is in circulating blood of Texas horned lizards, and that kit foxes also, like coyotes, find it repulsive. If horned lizard blood were smeared onto a delectable laboratory mouse, it was treated like a suspect morsel of food, not like a culinary delight. These and my other studies on horned lizards led to my involvement with numerous natural history documentary films featuring blood squirting. These documentaries brought blood squirting to the attention of people across the world, including children I'd meet during later studies in southern Mexico. At that time, they, the children, knowledgeably told me all about blood squirting. They watched TV. For one documentary, we incorporated some research. Could bobcats cause blood squirting? And if so, would the blood be a successful defense? Both answers were yes. So not only canids, but felids too, are dissuaded from attacking horned lizards by the taste of their squirted blood. Early in my studies, I read a piece by creationist deniers of Darwinian evolution that questioned how such an amazing behavior could have evolved without the guidance of higher intelligence. Impossible, they said. Well, not trained in anatomy or herpetology, the writer of those remarks was apparently unaware of a 1907 publication on the blood, veins, and sinuses in the heads of all lizards. Several sphincter muscles encircle veins carrying blood out of the head of these animals. These muscles can constrict, thus stopping blood flow and raising blood pressure throughout the head. This expands and fills blood sinuses around the eyes. Why? Recall that reptiles have a third eyelid, the clear nictitating membrane that sweeps across the eye's surface to remove extraneous particles which accumulate in the corner of the eyelids until becoming uncomfortable. At this point, the lizard raises blood pressure in its head to swell the blood sinus, which pushes the irritant out of the lizard's eye socket to drop to the ground. So how does this fit into the evolution of blood squirting? Well, under the stress of predator attack, horned lizards can use this mechanism for a new action, protection from certain predators. A few other related species of lizards, when stressed, may very rarely lose a few drops of blood from their eye sinus area. But horned lizards, in contrast, when under attack, strongly swell the sinuses around the eyes until a few capillaries simply rupture. This enables blood to flow out towards the tear duct from which it can then be squirted up to several feet. The ideal time for a horned lizard to squirt for defense is when a coyote has its jaws already positioned around the lizard's head, thus delivering the blood directly into its mouth. Luckily for the horned lizard, the taste response is instantaneous and strong, complete revulsion. Often that squirt is life-saving. I hope you enjoyed these insights and that you will want to learn more about these lizards. They are but another branch of the tree of life, which we all occupy. Thank you for your attention.